It's your boy Monrroe coming at you from a rainy Shire. Still ticking along. Yeah, hope everyone's good. Getting by. I'm here today with Urban Creative, doing something creative. Yeah, we're gonna basically do a stripped back acoustic version of my track "You Got Me" with Alexa Harley, and yeah, just do a complete different version of it and try and go through the whole process of it and how I'd go about doing that, and yeah, and hopefully the end product sounds alright. And yeah, hope you like. Peace.
Yo! So, here we are in pristine Ableton, looking fresh as ever, or like a 90s computer, but you know, it does the job, and it's, yeah, wicked bit of kit. So what I'm going to start with at the moment, I was thinking start with the kind of base layer Atmos. We'll sit underneath everything and give everything ethereal feel and give the whole track its ambience, I suppose. And what I've got here in the project already is just little bits from the original track that I use in the Atmos kind of thing. So I figured we could use the Atmos from the original and use that as our base layer, and then I can build from there by adding more kind of pad elements or Atmos swells, and then I was thinking of adding more real instruments over it, so go quite down a guitar kind of route. I'm really into I don't know what it's called. I'm gonna say neo folk, but I think that's complete bullshit. So allow me on that. But yeah, bands like Daughter, Nova and More, Hawks. Yeah, I don't know how to describe it. It's just kind of sad, melancholic music, I suppose. But yeah, so we'll be going down that route. I think it might turn out different. We'll see, but that's the direction I'm aiming for. So yeah, let's crack on. So if anybody hasn't heard the original, this is the original. I'll just have a quick zoom through it.
I can't keep hiding the way I'm feeling. You give me something no one can compete with. Like the way I feel alive. You make me feel like you got me, baby. It's the rare electricity.
Right, so that's the original track. It's obviously drum and bass, deep, sad liquid. But yeah, it's got this amazing vocal line from Alexa Harley, and I think with this stripped back version we can really let that vocal shine through a lot more. So yeah, let's crack on with it, because I've been waffling for ages, I think. So these are all, everything in here at the moment is from the original track. I've just gone in and taken the bits I've needed and chucked them out into this project. And so this is the main kind of Atmos that's in the original track to start with. So I'll just play that now. So this is what that sounds like. So yeah, quite high up in the frequency register kind of thing, but also kind of filling out the mid-range, etc. And yeah, I think that'd be quite a good basis to go on, because it's just an ethereal drone, and what we could do is just filter that down, maybe depending on where the guitar's hitting when we bring that in, because it will be filling a similar range. But yeah, these are literally just samples. I think I was really quite lazy with the Atmos on this. originally. If it works, it works, you know. So don't feel bad about it, I suppose. So yeah, it's made up of this. This is the first element. Just like some drony voices, and then on top of that is chime sounds. And all that's going on there is I've just chucked an auto filter on, and is that a band pass? I think it's a band pass. Don't at me if I'm wrong. But yeah, just chucked a band pass on, and then chucked the LFO on and the phase at 180. So it's basically moving this filter here like this, but instead of just doing it kind of a mono filter, because it's set to, the phase is set to 180, it's going from left to right as it's filtering, so it proper spreads it out, which is quite a nice thing to do with pad elements and that kind of thing. But if you overdo it, it can get a bit groggy and mud everything up. But yeah, on top of that is this. Yeah, nothing too major. Again, just your average drone, I suppose. Just filtered it down. Yeah, and I think we'll be working with that as our kind of base layer to chuck everything on and build up from. Then another thing, this is a crucial part of the main track, so I think involving this in some way in this version would be a good idea. It's basically that really trance sounding chord saw sound. It sounds like this. So yeah, that sound is something I use a lot as kind of my main body of the Atmos, I suppose. Yeah, real simple sound. Basically just using saw waves in massive, 3 of them here, just detuning each other and then sending them to a filter. So it's a similar way to how you'd make a Reese, using it as a chorded pad rather than a bass line. So not the most complex sound, but if you play the right chords into it, it can just sound incredible and very what's the word? Euphoric. So yeah, this is what it sounds like without the filter. It just sounds really noisy. Then you check the filter on. And yeah, you've got an extremely warm, trance-esque chord sound. Again, not a hard sound to make. Literally just detune saw waves, and that's literally about it. And then chuck through a filter. And yeah. So, where are we at now? These are the keys for the from the original. These are mainly just chord work supporting the main progression. So we've got 1 piano and 1 electric piano. I think it's a kind of Rhodes with a slow attack, so it's sweeping in. So these are those 2 together. So the Rhodes is one that probably will end up getting used properly. I'm not too sure about the kind of support piano chords. The same with this kind of little lead that I had going on here. But yeah, I'm not sure if you're going to use that because it might end up getting a little bit too complex. So I want it to be quite vocal focused, and when you're clashing two different melodies like bass doing and the vocal, you're going to end up getting, or not getting, you're going to just end up kind of confusing the listener. So as that is, we probably won't use it, but we could sample that out and create like almost like a swell kind of thing, which could be nice as just to chuck in the background as a bit of Atmos. So what I'll do here is just group all that because it's just going up messy. Just going to chuck reverb on it, bring up the decay time, bring the size down a bit, keep the dry wet quite high, because what I'm feeling in my mind now is to make this unrecognizable as a piano and take the tail end of it, and we can use that and see where that goes. Yeah, now I'll just chuck some ping pong delay on, which is just standard delay, but it goes, instead of sticking down the middle, it goes from left to right as it delays. So it'll sound pretty kind of muddy with these two things on. We'll have a listen. Nice. So you can hear it has a ridiculous tail to it. So I'm thinking if we just resample that out onto another audio channel down here, we could yeah, maybe get something interesting from it. So we'll give it a crack. Right, so now we should have that in audio form. I'll just get rid of it because we don't even need that anymore. So this is what we've got. So I'm thinking that bit, maybe reverse it, bring it down here, see how that sounds. Just bring that in like that and chuck a bit more verb on it so we've got a tail on the audio. Let's have a goose, right. Maybe a little bit. Maybe a bit of distortion post. We'll see how that goes. We could automate that in. We could get some kind of interesting results. Let's have a listen. Nice, yeah. Could do something with that. Hold on that to later. What does it sound like pitched down an octave? Sounds alright. Maybe chuck a filter on. Play about with that. Play about a bit of automation on the dry wet, the dry wet of the distortion. See if we can get anything interesting. Cool. Yeah, we'll hang on to that. See if we can do anything with it. Maybe not, but we've got it there just in case. So I'll chuck that just up here. For later, and then yeah, below that you've got the strings, and I've got a cello just doing the same as the kind of trance pad, so just doing the main body of the chords. So I don't know whether we'll use that, but I'll keep it here just in case. And then on top of that is just kind of like a violin-y drone kind of sound. So yeah, we'll see if we end up using that. We could use that and take out the little melodic-y notes and just keep that D sharp and kind of use that as a drone again. So keep that there. And then I've got these as well. So these are just little vocal cuts that I've got that kind of sit underneath everything. And then I don't know what these two are, but I'm guessing they're pitch down vocals again because it's something I do a lot. Yeah, cool. We'll hang on to them. And I've got the original acapella here from Alexa. We could do something with Atmos wise. We could cut it up and see what we get. So this is the acapella.
I can't keep hiding the way I'm feeling.
So yeah, I just bounced it out from the original version. But yeah, you can see what we can do with that. I've been waffling on for ages, I think, about this. This is really just kind of the backbone of the track, really, so it's not anything too dramatic. But yeah, I just thought we'd get a little bit more Atmos in here. So I've got loaded up an instance of Omnisphere, which is an amazing plugin for anything to do with pads, atmosphere, anything like that. It's, yeah, wicked plugin. Highly recommend. So I've got this loaded up already. I'm just going to move this over to the other screen because it gets in the way. So it sounds like this. And yeah, the way I kind of use Omnisphere is just going through presets, really, because there's so much in here that's just amazing to work with straight away. So just kind of take what I can, and then I'll resample it out to an audio channel, mainly because Omnisphere just eats away at my CPU, and I'm on a really shite version of Ableton. So it just kind of kills everything, and so working with audio kind of gets rid of that problem. And then so then once it's in audio, I can cut it up and create pads and Atmos from the initial sound. And I think it's just a nice way of working. So I'll take that and record that out here. Right, so that should be down here in audio. See, I'm thinking maybe this bit could work really nicely. So we've got the kind of slow attack that comes in, and then this lovely little tail. But I'm thinking this could be quite a nice body to work with. So if we were to cut that up like this, so we're working with the kind of main part of the sound. So you hear when I play it, it's got a lot of nasty little clicks in it. So we just kind of tweak the fades a bit, so we're kind of getting rid of those dirty clicks. So have a go. And yeah, we can maybe use different variant on kind of the last bar. And again, we can once this is kind of, we've got the rough pattern together, we can start building and manipulating this sound so it works how we want it to work. So just get rid of any of these clicks and that. Right. Whoa. Sweet. Goodbye. So this is what we got. Ooh. Nice. So what we could do here is maybe filter that down and use this as a way of supporting this Atmos here. So let's have a listen. Yeah, why not? We'll stick with that. Just kind of as a little support. Chuck that up here. And normally I go quite in with all this, but because we're doing a kind of more stripped back mellow version, I don't want to overdo it. So maybe just have a little gander through, see if there's anything tickling the fancy. That could be a nice little kind of effects element that we could bring in. So if I go back to resampling, so it's not the nicest sound, but there could be something in that we can work with. Let's have a go. Right. It's that little kind of tail bit that could work. Let's have a go. Take that there. Reverse it. What have we got? Cool. Go like that. Chuck a load of delay on that. We've probably got quite a nice little effecty bit there. Let's have a go. Bit of verb as well. And then probably a bit of filtering. Could have that like that on the phrase, the end of the phrase kind of thing. Maybe have that filtering in. So I'm using this filter down here as more as a EQ, just a lazy man's EQ. So we'll bring that up like here. Maybe bring that post pre delay in that. Okay, got a nice little end of phrase thing there. Let's have a listen in context, always important. Nice. So all I've done there is just pitch that one down 5 semitones, so it's still in key with what we're doing, and just adds a little bit of variation. So again, you probably only use these sparingly in the final product, but it's a nice little effect just to be in there. Right, I reckon we sack Omnisphere off now before we get too carried away. So we've got a nice kind of bit of background to everything that we can build from. I'll just try something with the vocal. If it doesn't work, I'm just going to cut it out, so don't tell anyone. Let's have a go.
You get me if you told me you could hold me, I would tell you there's nobody.
Right, so let's just bang that on there into a new audio. Turn it down to be well loud. Let's lazy man EQ it again. Chuck a load of verb on. Maybe filter that down. Reverse it so it's unrecognizable. So what we're doing again is trying to make it so that this is more of a atmosphere element than a vocal. It might work, it might not. We'll have a go. Maybe slow it down. See, that could work. Chuck that in there. Let's have a go. Right. Oh yeah. Hello. Just cut another bit here for this phrase. Just have a go at that. Maybe not have it at a full octave down. Let's chuck it up to 5. No, not that. Oh no. I don't think that is the one. Let's try that. Try that to 5. A lot of trial and error. It's all part of it. Yeah, it could work. Bring that down a bit. Sweet. So yeah, I'll take that as the kind of basis to go on. I'll leave that for Atmos as it is. And yeah, we'll build on top of that. I'll go into a bit of guitar work next, I think, and get the main body going. We'll see how that goes.
Yo, so welcome back. I'm here, sat in the old studio. Now gonna try and lay in some kind of guitar work onto the built Atmos we had before. For some reason, I can't record my screen and an input at the same time, which is really annoying. So it means I'm gonna have to record straight onto the GoPro, so allow the change in audio quality. And yeah, so I'm just gonna jam along, see what I can come up with. I've kind of got a rough idea of the chords, and I'm going to translate that onto the guitar, and then yeah, once we've got that down, we'll build from that. Maybe jam out a couple of ideas, do a bit of layering. Yeah, we'll see how it goes. Sweet. So we've got initial kind of chord sequence, and then I'm just going to use that as a variant because we can do quite a lot with that. We can maybe make a pad from it, we're just taking the tails, or you could use that as it is, and I'll just jam over some real basic kind of top end stuff. Let's see what we get. Right, probably got enough we can work with there. Loads of bits we can kind of cut about, play with, and yeah, try and build something from. Sweet. We're now back with the bass. I'm just gonna lay down some kind of chordy bit on the bass. So not using it as a bass would. I'll probably use something electronic for that. But yeah, just thought this would be a nice touch, kind of following the Rhodes pattern. So yeah, let's try it. Sweet, that's probably good to go. Back again with another guitar, this time acoustic. Just going to chuck a load of this in, and yeah, we might not use it, but we might. Be cool. Chuck a bit of that in. So I'm now recorded on the mic, so it's going to go a bit quiet for a bit. You'll just hear the guitar. But yeah, hopefully it sounds alright. Yeah, we'll give it a go. Sweet, so we've got kind of all the live elements down for now, so what I'm going to do is get it so the screen's back on camera, and then we'll kind of go through each part bit by bit and try and, yeah, see what we can do.
Yo! So welcome back. So just come back from doing all the kind of live recording stuff. So I've sorted them all out in the project itself, cleaned them all up a bit, and got them in time, because as a DJ my ability to play to a beat is surprisingly fucking awful, so I've just Had to shift everything in time a bit. Yeah, so this is what we've got from the guitars all together. So I've grouped them all up and then chucked them into a bus here. And yeah, show you what I've got. So this is them all together. So with anything guitar related, I'll always use Guitar Rig. I just find it's a really good plugin for anything guitar related. It's basically just like an amp modeling VST, and yeah, it just works really nicely with guitar. And so I've just built kind of presets over the years, and yeah, this is one of them. So it's just got a spring verb, a bit of comp, and then a bit of delay really. And that's about it. A tiny bit of chorus, and that's kind of it. Post that on the actual channel. I've just EQ'd a little bit just to take out some of the low end mud, and then chucked it into a simple delay, so it's just delaying that initial transient, so it's stutters it kind of thing, or like an echo, and so it sounds like this. Very subtle, so it's just doing the when, because it's set to the fourth. But yeah, so this is off, this is on, and then just a tiny bit of reverb after that, just to give it all a bit of room. Only subtle. And then underneath that, I've just got exactly the same chord pattern from the exact same recording, it's all the same effects, and just pitched it down an octave just to kind of support the other one, just to thicken it up a bit. So on its own, it just sounds a little bit wank, but just kind of chuck it underneath the other one and it just thickens up the sound a bit. You could also double track it if you wanted to, but I'm a bit lazy. But double tracking's the way forward if you want to thicken up guitars or kind of any kind of live element. And then this version here is basically, I've just made a drone out of the chords. So what I've done is I've bounced the chords out as audio and then chucked them into this amazing plugin called Pull Stretch, which basically just stretches audio beyond recognition, and you can get some really kind of nice tonal pad stuff from that. And so I just chucked it into this and then stretched it, rebounced it out, and so we've gone from this to this on the stretch version. So if I just take off the filter, so it sounds like this. But yeah, see, there's some really nice tones in there, and all I've done is just taken the first chord and just taken it from around here, so we're not getting the initial transient, we're just kind of getting the tail. And then yeah, all I've done is just looped that and filtered it down a bit, so it just sounds like a drone now, just like a straight chord. So here we go. So yeah, I've layered that underneath the chords, and together it just sounds like this. So yeah, it's a quite nice little touch. I could go all in and cut it up so I'm copying the exact same chord pattern, but I kind of like it just on the drone, but work either way. And then underneath all of that, I've just got one of the acoustic takes, which my recording wasn't the best of, because I was just trying to get it sorted, but it works quite nice because we've got these fret slides in there, and layering that over the electric chords sounds really nice. So this is acoustic chords with nothing on. So yeah, that doesn't sound too good. It's like the acoustic's definitely a little bit out of tune, but it kind of works. But yeah, it's mainly about those slides that I really like. It kind of gives it a little bit of more of a live feel. So I've just basically chucked a filter on, take out the lows, bit of chorus just to spread it a bit, because it was recorded in a mono mic. Then a bit of reverb, and then just a bit of EQ, just taking out some of the proper kind of harsh high-end stuff that you get from the fret slides. So I'm left with this. So then yeah, just layer that over everything else we've got, and it just gives kind of the electric chords a nice bit of life that wouldn't be there otherwise. So here we go. So yeah, that's kind of all the chord work, and then underneath that I'm just using exactly the same guitar rig setup, and I've just created some little bits from the kind of lead stuff we've done. But yeah, so in the moment I'm just kind of in the writing phase, and this is where I kind of work with any kind of track, is just kind of build everything in a 16. So layer everything on everything, just so you know it kind of all sounds good together, and then from that I'll go into construction mode, where it'll be taking the bits I want, working with other bits and building, rather than them all being on together kind of thing. So it'd be giving everything its kind of own time and place, and yeah, so kind of as you would build in a house, innit, brick by brick, I suppose. But yeah, so that's the lead, and final bit of guitar was the bass, and so we're just playing just some chords, and then yeah, we've kind of got everything we need to build, really. This is all the fundamentals of where this version is going to go, I think. So yeah, next up, what I'm thinking of doing, if it's not raining as much, is head out to the woods and get some kind of Foley recordings and create some kind of textures and almost percussion layers using kind of Foley sounds and found sound, and then yeah, build from that and see what we can get. Yo! So we're back. Just chucked all the sounds that I recorded earlier into Ableton itself and just cut about some little bits just to know what we were working with. Haven't done too much at all. But yeah, all I've done is just bounced out what we had before with the guitar and the pad and that. Just to another project, just while I'm working on the textural stuff and like the Foley work and all that. Just because I find it's a cleaner way of working. It's just, if I can focus on one thing at a time, and then what I'll do is, once I've got the rough idea of the Foley together, group it all up, bus it, and then get it into the other project. And yeah, so that's the bounce here. And this is just some drums that I had lying about. I think these are the same drums I used in one of my older tracks, Warmer Days. It's just kind of quite live breaky stuff. I've just kind of cut it up, and yeah, just as guide to what we're doing with the Foley stuff, and I might end up using this in the final track as well. They're only really kind of more atmospheric-y percussion than full-on drums, I suppose. So I've just filtered them down, chucked a bit of reverb on, and put a de-esser on after the reverb, just because it sounded a little bit too bright, and so I just chucked that on just to bring it all down a bit and not sound so bright and out of place, and then just a little bit of distortion post that. And yeah, so this is what we've got here. Nothing too major, just yeah, fairly simple bit of drum work there. But yeah, when it's laid over this, it sounds quite nice. So yeah, we'll see what we can do with that. But yeah, so onto the Foley work and the found sound stuff. So this is kind of always present in any kind of track I do. There's always like some kind of noise layer, which I just put over the top. I'll get it so it's sitting underneath kind of thing, just because I find having a noise layer just adds a little bit of life. And yeah, so all this is just a rain sample, a bit of vinyl crackle, and some water that we recorded earlier. But I don't think I filmed that bit. But that was a little stream I walked past, so I was just like, oh yeah, sound. Just get that on there. This is how this sounds. It's just literally, it's just a noise layer. So this is this. Only subtle, but you chuck it over what we have before, and then you get like a really nice, just kind of top end to it, and it just sounds a little bit more real than it's made in a computer, if that makes sense. So this is this with it on. And then off, just so you can hear the difference. So you can just hear it's just kind of giving it a bit of life to the top end, and just fills everything out quite nicely. But yeah, so let's go into the Foley stuff. So the ones I've done a little bit of work on already is these 2 or 4, I think. So I've got this little sample here that we recorded of just like, I think it was of walking on some leaves, just trying to crunch it, just me obbling about on the floor basically. But we've got kind of like a nice kind of noise layer again. So it sounds like this. And all I've done is just reversed it. And then yeah, we can chuck that kind of over this. Just kind of adds a nice little bit of texture. And then below that I've got this quick step sound, which I think was just from stamping on the ground. And then all I've chucked on here is just a bit of filter delay, just on the left and right. So it's doing the whole stereo, not just the left side or the right side. They're both turned off. And then some Lazy Man EQ, just take out some of the low end mud, and a little bit of phase just to give it a bit more of an image. And then on the actual audio itself, I've pitched it down almost an octave and reversed it, and then used this warp mode. It's really good for basically anything. It's wicked on drums because you can get stuff really tight. So it's just basically, I've got it set to transient, so it's getting cut at every transient basically. So it's dependent on this amount here. So if it's on 100, it's the full sound, whereas if it's on 18 or 20, it's quite cut. So you should hear it just kind of sounds like a little, like a percussive stab rather than like a full bit of audio. And then with the delay and that on top, sounds quite nice, kind of works. What have we got below this? We've just got a leaf striking the metal sheet. It sounds like this. Just turn everything off here. So I've just taken the kind of scrape and then a hit from the same bit of audio. So normally it just sounds like this. So I've just kind of cut that up, and then on top of that I've just added a de-esser again, just because it sounded a bit too bright. Then I've chucked on a compressor but using it as sidechain. So here's my sidechain channels up here. So I've got one set to kind of follow the 4/4 beat, so it sounds like this. And then one kind of following this kick pattern that this is doing, and then one for the snare, but I don't know if we're going to use them, but we might do, depends if we use the drums. But yeah, so this 4/4 one I'm just using more as a creative sidechain than a technical sidechain. So it's more to create movement rather than dipping to allow something else to poke through, if that makes sense. So you kind of hear I've got it set with like a slow release, so it's kind of swelling in a little bit. So it sounds like this. So it just adds like a nice bit of rhythm. And then below that, I don't think I recorded this on film, but I just found this metal tub in the woods, and just, yeah, I thought it'd be quite nice to use as like a low tom or like almost a kick. So it sounds like this. Nah, not the most sweet sound, but it could work. But yeah, so all I've done is just doubled it up so it's twice as long, so it gives it that little bit kind of that stretch that you can hear. It kind of stretches out the low end a bit. But if we kind of layer up all the other bits of noise we got, it works quite nice. So what have we got here? I've got a leave crunch. Some amazing spelling by me there. So that little bit there is quite sweet. So you could take that, maybe reverse it, so it's kind of like that's the worst description. But it sounds like this now. So we could have that maybe on where it is, to be fair, that could work there. So maybe try that in context. Bring that down a bit on the fade, and maybe chuck some verb on there, send it back a bit. Have a go. Give it a bit of room. Maybe chuck a bit of chorus on it. Nice. Can maybe pitch it down as well. I'll warp it so it retains its timing. Nice, that could work. And then maybe just chuck an EQ on there, see what we've got, because there's probably some really dirty low end on that. Nice. Maybe take a bit off the top as well. Sweet. Then turn it down a bit. And then maybe we could take this bit here from it. Maybe unreverse it. Turn it up a bit. Yeah, nice. Might as well stick with that. See kind of what we're doing with building this kind of grand percussive-esque layer kind of built from noise, and it'd be quite nice sitting underneath everything, I think. So let's just try it. Yeah, it sounds alright, that. And then, yeah, if we mix it with drums as well, we get... Sweet. Sounding alright, let's crack on. What have we got here? So we got a little logins hit, bit of Kenny, let's have a go. Proper little rimmer that. Right, let's see where that could go. It could be almost quite snarey. So where's my snare hitting? So maybe if I take, we just get the transient, distort that a little bit maybe. Could be alright. Bit of EQ, do that before, yeah. Overdrive. So no, my little zoom picks up so much mud on the low end. Nice bit of verb there. Chuck that on like that. Maybe take out some low. Sweet. Maybe even a bit of simple delay. Let's give it a go. Right. It's going to be a tough one to place, I think. And what we could do is maybe have like a shorter one here that's pitched slightly differently, and we could use this as like a fill. So yeah, stick with that. So all I'm going to do is basically chuck these and that, because they're together, into my user library, and then all I'm going to do is open the other project and chuck them in, and then yeah, so then I've got the Foley layer all good to go. And yeah, so we've kind of got all the elements now. So what I might do is just start building it all off camera, and then when I've got a kind of rough template together, I'll probably come back on and then yeah, try and do a quick run through what I've done with the arrangement, and then hopefully get Alexa to do her thing with it, which would be sweet. So I'm back in the project now. I did a load of stuff off camera just to build it out. That'd be so boring to watch, so I just thought might as well do it off camera. So it's just a lot of dragging and dropping blocks. All I've done, I haven't really added anything, I don't think, apart from a kind of subline down here, which is nothing too exotic. And then I've just added some FXy bits, so some like kind of noise sweeps, some reverse cymbals. So yeah, with the bass patch, it's nothing too exotic. It's just a really simple kind of subby Reese. Sounds like this. So yeah, not a complex sound at all. So it's just two oscillators, two saw waves detuned to each other using the fine. So I'm not going up any semitones or anything, literally just detuning it. So it's each one of these waves is slightly detuned to each other. That's how you get that spread, that kind of Reese sound. And then basically just chuck that through a low pass on the filter, and then yeah, chucked a stub under it, And yeah, that's it basically. Really simple little sound, but yeah, it does the job. And then post that, all I've done is just chucked an audio effect rack on, separated it, so I've got the real sub end and kind of a little bit more mid-range, so I've just separated them together. So this is the sub, like that's the main kind of source of the sound for what we want. And then in this section here that's called mids, all I've done is just isolate the from about 104 Hz upwards. So just to give a bit more texture to the sound, so I've just chucked a bit of chorus on, just to give it a bit more width, and a noise generator or erosion enabler, just to give it some kind of top end shimmer, and then a saturator on top of that with just the tiniest bit of drive. And then, so without that kind of little effect chain there, it's not that of a major difference, but it sounds like this. And with it on, you'll just hear the kind of noise effect mainly, and the mid-range just kind of come through a bit more. So yeah, it's quite a only subtle little thing, but I thought I might as well do it. Yeah, that's about it for anything new sound-wise, apart from the effects stuff. Yeah, I'll just kind of do a quick click through and show you kind of what we've done. So I've got these kind of separated into verses, and then I'd bring the percussion in, and then kind of it all comes together in the kind of chorus section. And I've fiddled with the arrangement a little bit so it works more as a song rather than a drum and bass track. And I've kind of used the a cappella from Alexa, the original one, just to kind of get a reference of what goes where. So I've just been using that as a guide. Build up into the chorus section. Yeah, that's kind of about it really. And then yeah, you're kind of hearing the full thing. If you kind of look at the project and listen to the final audio, you'll be able to kind of see what I've done in here, what I've done kind of thing, rather than me playing it all through. So that would just, I don't know, I feel like that'd be really long. A bit boring, but and yeah, that's pretty much the finished track, I think. And so yeah, I'm just going to bounce this out now and then send it over to Harley and yeah, see what she can do with it. And she's probably going to smash it, which would be wicked to hear. And yeah, it'd be cool to get this finished and see how it sounds. Kind of a different version. Yeah, big up for having me. Hold tight, Urban Creative. Peace.
I can't keep hiding the way I'm feeling. You give me something no one can compete with. If you told me I'm the only one you're thinking I would tell you there's nobody else. I want you and no one else. You make me feel like ooh, ooh, ooh. I can't hold it down. Whenever you're around, you make me feel like ooh, ooh. Brighter than the moon, shining just for you. You got me, baby. Feel a rush when you're close to me. So intense I can hardly speak. Feel like I can barely breathe. 'Cause you got me, baby. It's a rare electricity. Draw me in, can you feel the heat? There's a yearning inside of me. 'Cause you got me, baby. If you want to live a life full of meaning, I give you something greater to believe in, Could you surrender, give it up, open up your heart, your body and soul to me, and I will make sure I'm everything you'll ever need. You got me, baby. Ooh, 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 ooh. I can't hold it down. Whenever you're around, you make me feel like ooh, ooh, ooh. Brighter than the moon, shining just for you. You got me, baby. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Won't ever deny the way I feel alive. You make me feel like ooh, ooh, ooh. You make me feel like ooh, ooh, oh. You make me feel like